guys, so welcome back to the YouTube channel. We're in for push today. We're already into the second exercise. So there's a little bit of an issue with both mine and Alex's schedule this morning, so I had to kind of just crack on with my workout. So unfortunately we missed the top set of the first exercise, but Alex managed to capture some footage of the back off set. Oh. 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 So we started off with the reverse banded Smith incline press. Top set didn't go to plan. The goal was 4 plates for 5 repetitions, but we only managed to get 3 reps. But I'm at the end of this mesocycle, so I'm astronomically fatigued at the moment. So it was kind of a given. A little bit of stress going into that set as well. But back off set, I managed to redeem myself. We've done 135 up by 2.5 kilos. We got 13 repetitions, 2 shy away from our previous rotation numbers. But we're now on to exercise 2. We're going to do a flat dumbbell press, controlled eccentrics. We're going to crack on, and then throughout the workout, we'll do a little bit of talking. But I hope you enjoyed the session. See you guys in a bit. On to working set now. 50 for the top set. Previous week I done 55 kilos, but as it's the last session of this mesocycle, as I said, I'm feeling really fatigued. I'm going to just bring it back down to 2 rotations numbers, if that makes sense. So not last week's numbers, the week before that, which was 50 for 9 repetitions. And I'm going to try and get the 10 repetitions. So I'm still progressively overloading the set. Reason being is because with that feeder set on the 47.5, I felt really fatigued. And also a bit of a niggle in the elbow from the reverse band Smith. So playing it safe here. I'm going to start off with the 50s, try and get 10 repetitions, and then we've got the back off set. T-shirt says, finish the rep. to plate loaded shoulder press. So the purpose of putting these these D handles here is just essentially to lift up the machine slightly. So then I'm starting in my active range of motion. So in layman's terms, it just means that I'm not putting any compromise onto my shoulder girdle. So I'm not really having to dig out of that hole, just bringing it up slightly. It puts me into the active range. So then I can just drive out more efficiently and not cause any kind of niggles or injuries to the actual shoulder girdle itself. So as you'll see, when I get into the set now, I'm not having to get under there and then dig out. I'll just get in nicely, I can just drive straight from there. We're on to seated cable calf extension, tricep extensions. So essentially with this movement, when we're looking at the alignment of the cables, what you want to think about is you want to look at your degree of abduction, so abduction, which is essentially this motion here. So just get into a natural position. So for me, this is about my normal degree of abduction because of the tissue bulk of my lats. And then what you want to do is you want to try to align the cables with that position there. So then you've got this perpendicular line from the cable to your elbow. So essentially a 90-degree angle. That's the first thing that you want to look at. The reason why we're going to do this movement first of all, prior to the machine dip, is because we're going to be challenging the short range of the tricep. So this is the weakest portion of the tricep. So while we're at our freshest, we can challenge the short range, the weakest range of the tricep. And then we go over into the machine dip where we're going to focus on more the length and range. So again, theoretically speaking, that's where we're our strongest. And then the last thing that I'll just say is preferentially, I like to have the cuffs in this portion here. So some people like to put it on their wrist. I personally like to put it here so I can kind of get a bit more of a feel for it. So then I have better proprioception of how I'm moving this through the actual set. In terms of the alignment, that's my degree of abduction, and the cable is perpendicular now, so there's that 90-degree angle about there. And the reason why we want that alignment is because if the cable's too high, then essentially we're going to have that challenge to abduction. So the cable's going to try and pull us up like this, and if it's too low down, it's going to try and pull us inwards. So that's why we want to try and get that nice alignment with your available degree of abduction. Get this shit on camera. We're struggling. Alright guys, so that's a wrap up of this session and also the end of this mesocycle. So I've now got 7 days of a deload. I just want to preface this outro with an apology for a lack of talking throughout this video. But at the moment, I'm just, as I said at the beginning, I'm astronomically exhausted. I'm really fatigued. So I wasn't really in the mood to talk too much. So we kind of just cracked on with the workout. But overall, it's been a very productive mesocycle. And I just wanted to quickly touch on some key characteristics and symptoms to look out for to help identify whether you warrant a deload. Because a lot of people, they never really have a clear like understanding of when they need to deload and what they need to look out for. So we can look at some internal variables and external variables. So starting off like the internal ones, the most obvious one will be performance. If you're starting to see a dip in your performance in terms of progression across not only one workout but multiple sessions, then that's a clear indication that you potentially need to deload. Other aspects will be like your overall recovery and fatigue management. So if you're starting to get to a point where that fatigue is overlapping, so that muscle soreness that you're experiencing, let's say for example, just to add some context here, if I train upper on Tuesday, which is going to be like my chest and back movements, if it then comes to Friday, which is today, and I'm training push, if I'm still recovering from the upper session, it just means that my body is undergoing a lot of inflammation, a lot of stress, so it's taking more time to recover. So I've exceeded my recovery capacity. That again is another indication that you may warrant a deload. And all of these characteristics and symptoms are things that I'm displaying at the moment. Now, that's just to list a couple. Another key one that I would say is commonly overlooked would be the pump. So if you're doing more of that metabolite summation work, the higher rep sets, and you're just not getting any kind of pump whatsoever, that means that there's some kind of impairment to your physiology on a molecular level. So when you're looking at the actual cells, they're not getting any kind of metabolite buildup. There's no lactic acid, there's no pump. So again, that's another indication that you're undergoing a lot of inflammation, systemic inflammation, and then you need to deload. External variables to look out for to help identify whether you need a deload would be sleep. If your sleep becomes impaired, if you're getting sleep fragmentation, which is basically broken sleep, you're waking up multiple times in the night, or you're just struggling to get to sleep, or you've got a mild case of narcolepsy, where you just feel like you can force it anywhere. Digestion, appetite, so digestion without being too graphic, if you're having issues with your ability to digest food. Appetite, if that's completely suppressed, and you have no desire to eat whatsoever. Again, all of these are common symptoms and characteristics of systemic fatigue, and therefore you need to deload. How to approach a deload, I'll save that for a separate video, but I just wanted to kind of wrap up this video to talk on that, because now I'm going to deload for 7 days, and then we'll be back in for the next mesocycle. I'll still have Alex with me filming some content, but he will be in a different location. So we will no longer be here in Oakley, we will be in Crayford Weights and Fitness. So I'm excited for that, to show you guys that gym. It's a phenomenal gym, great equipment, great variations, but again, we'll save that for when the time comes. But as always, thank you guys for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give it a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one. I'm about to eat some sushi now. Cheers.